We may have more top 25 teams get upset this week in college football than possibly ever in the history of college football. Yes, there are that many potential upsets. We'll get into those. I did want to quickly talk about the playoff rankings, though. I didn't see a point of doing a video to give my reaction because it just would have been really short. I mean, if you watch my projection video, this is almost, it's very close to what I projected. I wasn't really surprised by much. I said in that video I thought Ole Miss would be ahead of Texas Tech, although I said I thought Texas Tech should be ahead of Ole Miss. So I give the committee credit for doing that, for putting Texas Tech up to number 6. I predicted BYU would drop right there behind Oklahoma. That's exactly where they went. It didn't really make any sense for Miami to jump ahead of Georgia Tech from the week before to this week. I don't understand that one. Everyone else, I had Iowa still in there ranked. I thought that because they lost, and again, this committee has shown us if you lose a really close game to a really good team, you're not going to get penalized. They have shown us that. So Iowa, I think I had them maybe at 23, but I still had them ranked. And then South Florida was the team. They are in here. I had Houston. I had Cincinnati at 24 and Houston at 25. They put South Florida in there, which I have no issues with. I didn't think they would do it because, again, if you look at the rankings last week, they didn't have any Group of 5 teams in, and they had Memphis as the highest possible ranked team. So that I like that. I think the committee did a pretty good job again if we're going by kind of the things that they're using this year. I think they were pretty consistent. I would say the only thing I would kind of call them out on is why did Miami jump Georgia Tech? There was just really no reason for that. Again, I don't understand that one. And again, if you go and watch my video, I did give you the rankings for how I thought they should look if they followed their normal criteria. And I would still, I still think Miami and Notre Dame's resumes are close enough that Miami should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame. But this is what I expected pretty much. And so, again, not a whole lot to say about that. Let's get into the upsets now. If you go back to last week from the 8 games, again, the averages played out. It's almost been every week this year. Exactly 2 of the 8 teams that we put on upset alert do, in fact, lose. Tulane upsets Memphis, and then we saw Wake Forest upset Virginia. Some close calls in some of the other games, but those were the 2 that actually were upsets. Now this week, and this is the second time I've done this year, I'm going to do 10 games instead of 8 just because there were so many to choose from. That's what I said at the very beginning of the video. I think we might see a ton of top 25 teams go down this week. It's just, I don't know if I've ever seen a schedule like this where you have so many top 25 teams and potential upsets there. So I went with 10 games, and I only looked at the top 25 teams. So if it's a not top 25 versus not top 25, I didn't even look at those games because there were so many to choose from, and I still couldn't get them all. Navy, South Florida, that's a potential upset alert game. I didn't even put that one in the video, so it was really, really tough this week. Almost every top 25 team, it seems like, is on upset alert. So let's go to the 10 games, and again, going from least likely to most likely in my opinion. We'll start with Notre Dame, Pittsburgh. This game's at noon Eastern time on ABC. Notre Dame favored by 12.5 points here on the road. If Notre Dame is as good as we think they are, I think they should win this one. But I tell you what, Pitt has been a different team since they've made a quarterback change, and they're playing at home. Game day, this is going to be a really good game. I think it's competitive either way. And again, if things, a couple breaks go their way, Pitt, I think, could pull off an upset here. Next, we've got Texas at Georgia. This one's at 7:30 Eastern time on ABC. Georgia favored by 6. Texas has been getting better, it seems. Arch Manning's been playing better. We still know it's a really talented team, and Georgia's been so inconsistent. Although it does kind of feel like Georgia found something against Mississippi State last week. That was probably their best performance of the year. And so that makes me a little hesitant to think that Texas has a real good shot to pull off this upset. But again, with Georgia, because of the inconsistency, maybe this is a game where they start slow. Maybe Texas takes advantage of it. And just from a talent perspective, this is a very even matchup. So if Arch Manning can play really well, possibly we could see an upset here. All right, next we got Michigan, Northwestern. This one is at noon Eastern time on Fox. Michigan favored by 11.5 on the road at Northwestern. I can't remember where they're playing that game. I can't remember. But anyways, it's probably not going to be a very tough environment regardless. It's just, this is another team that's been inconsistent, Michigan, and their offense has not reached a level to where I feel comfortable about them beating a team like Northwestern. They should win this game, but this was a game I actually picked in the preseason to be an upset. I picked Northwestern to upset Michigan in the preseason, Michigan possibly looking ahead to Ohio State. I know Northwestern, the 4 losses there coming off of a loss. I still think this is a decent team, and I think they're good enough. If Michigan does not play well, I think we could see an upset here. All right, next we've got Arizona at Cincinnati. This one's at 12 o'clock Eastern time on FS1. Cincinnati favored by 6.5 points. Cincinnati's a good team. This is a quality team, but Arizona's pretty good too. So this is almost one of those coin flip type games. Cincinnati's at home, so you feel like they probably win this game. But I'll tell you what, we've seen a lot of upsets this year where the road team has pulled off the upset. And for Cincinnati, you're looking at possibly, a big game coming up and a win possibly getting you to the Big 12 championship, and then a win possibly getting you to the college football playoffs. So pressure building for Cincinnati. Does it get to them? Do they trip up here? I could see it. Next, we've got NC State at Miami, 3:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Miami favored by 14.5. NC State's 5-4, and they've lost to some not great teams, but they're pretty good at beating top 25 teams. They've done it twice. They beat Virginia. They beat Georgia Tech. It's just, I don't know why, but they seem to play pretty well against good teams, and Miami fits that category. So this one, Miami I think is the better team. If Carson Beck, though, if he's throwing interceptions again like he did against Louisville, NC State can absolutely win this game. So I think that spread's a little high. I think it should be closer to a touchdown. I think, if I had to pick the game, I'd pick Miami, but definitely they're on upset alert. NC State could get this one. Next, we've got TCU at BYU. This one is Saturday, late night, 10:15 Eastern time on ESPN. BYU's only favored by 4.5, and that one really, really surprised me. I don't understand why that number is that low. And so that definitely caught my attention. I thought, hey, maybe TCU could pull off the upset here. I don't think BYU is, I don't think they're an elite team, but they're still a solid team, and they're good at winning football games. I know they're coming off that tough loss, but you feel like they should at home be able to take care of business. But TCU is also, this is a good TCU team. They're sneaky good, and I think they could possibly pull off the upset. Where is BYU's mindset after the tough loss and a big game coming up next week? This is a trap game. I would say it's a bigger trap game if it was on the road. Playing at home, again, BYU, can they take care of business here? That's going to be a big one. Next, we've got Oklahoma and Alabama, 3:30 Eastern time on ABC. This is going to be a big game. Alabama's favored by 6. Oklahoma beat them last year, and we all remember that game. And the Brent Venables defense, how does it match up with this Alabama offense? That's going to be the story of the game. I think it's close regardless. It's going to come down to pressure on Ty Simpson. If they can get to him, Alabama's offense is going to struggle. They can't run the football very well, so Oklahoma can definitely make them one-dimensional. So it's, again, Ty Simpson versus this Oklahoma defense, I think is going to determine this game, and I could absolutely see Oklahoma going in there and pulling off an upset. You feel like Alabama, the motivation factor because of last year and they're playing at home, feels like they should take care of business here, but just comparing these two teams, I think it's a pretty even matchup. Next, we've got Utah at Baylor. This one's at 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2. Utah is favored by 8.5 points on the road. Baylor has lost some close games. This is a quality football team. Baylor's not bad. Utah, could the pressure start getting to them? Now, if they're looking at the college football playoff, and it is that time of the year where upsets happen. And again, I think we could see a bunch of them this week. And I think Baylor is capable. Next, we've got Iowa at USC. This one's at 3:30 Eastern time on the Big Ten Network. USC favored by 6.5. Feels like a toss-up game to me. I think Iowa's maybe slightly better than USC. A little bit more consistent this year. USC, though, is at home. So, I mean, flip a coin. I think either team could win this. I don't know why USC is favored by 6.5. So obviously they should be on upset alert. And that's kind of the same story here. Virginia at Duke, 3:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Duke's favored by 5.5. This was like a coin flip game as well. I could see either team winning. Honestly, I'm surprised that these last two games that I could even put them on the video because I thought the spread would be lower. And if we didn't put these two, then we'd have our 8 games. But it was just really tough to narrow it down. Virginia, Duke, toss-up game. Either team could win. Obviously, you got to put Duke on upset alert here. Duke's still a team with 4 losses that maybe, I don't know if the tiebreakers, how that all would work, but they might even control their own destiny to win or to get to the ACC championship. But obviously, if they win out, they're going to be in great shape. So, big weekend coming up. Again, I think they're going to be upsets all over the place. I think more than 2 of these 10 games will be upsets, probably more like 4. So which ones will it be? I'd love to know your thoughts. Who do you think is going to get upset, or who should be on upset alert? Maybe there's a game outside of the top 25 that you're interested in that you think is going to be a big upset. You can let me know that as well down in the comments below.